Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about my latest blog, which touches on how to prepare for college applications as a sophomore in high school. And so it might feel, if you're a sophomore right now, it might feel that this is a really early time to start thinking about college. And you are right, but it's always great to kind of start early and get all of these things in your head, just, on your radar so you start thinking about them before you really have to. And that will make you feel, not overwhelmed when it comes time to actually start taking action, and you feel really prepared with the kind of background and context that you have surrounding college applications. I will preface this blog with saying that, you do not have to have everything figured out as a sophomore in high school, or a junior or a senior, or even in college or beyond. I would say I've graduated from college and I still don't have everything figured out. A ton of professionals in the field that, are even 30, 40 years into their professional career don't have everything figured out. And that's because life changes and things are thrown at you, and you make a plan and life has a way of changing it. So don't feel like you're behind, because you really are not. Life is always changing and your opinions might change, your passions might change. It's really, prepping early in high school is really just about preparing yourself to take that leap of faith to give you as many opportunities as possible to explore what makes you passionate and explore what you might want to pursue later in your life. So it's really open-ended, and again, just keep that in mind throughout this entire video, throughout reading my blog. You don't have to have things figured out. Don't worry, you're not too late and you're not falling behind if you haven't thought about these things before. So with that said, there are some things that will kind of help you along in the process, and kind of make you feel prepared for when the time comes. So as a sophomore in high school, the things that I started to think about were centered around my high school experience in general and making the most out of what I was doing in that moment. And so one of the ways that you can prepare for college as a sophomore is that you can work on maintaining your grades. And that seems really simple, but it could also entail, you challenging yourself, or you looking to explore different advanced placement courses, AP courses, or honors courses, things that challenge you, even if it's not one of those, maybe like a different topic that you haven't thought about taking a class on before. And then doing well in those classes, developing healthy, study habits, and really putting a lot of effort into doing well. And the reason I say this is because, your freshman year, you start out, you're getting used to the high school experience, everything like that. When you get to your sophomore year, you can start to demonstrate a kind of upward trend in your grades. So freshman year, you didn't do so well. What you can do your second year is start to build that upward trend of improvement in your grades and demonstrate later on to colleges that, you struggled a little bit when you went to high school, which is totally normal. It's human to do that. And then after that, starting your second year, you really put the work in, you were dedicated, you showed initiative to really get those grades up and keep them up, and also challenge yourself in your academic environment. So that's something you can really focus on during your sophomore year, is really keeping those grades up and challenging yourself, but also exploring things that you think you might be interested in, different courses, different activities, different extracurriculars, things like that. So with that, going on to extracurriculars, it would be a great idea during this time, your second year in high school, to build off of anything that you've done your freshman year. And if you haven't, joined any extracurriculars your freshman year, maybe start thinking about it this year. Get involved, explore different opportunities. If you did join, different groups your freshman year, you can start to narrow those options down. You can also explore different avenues that kind of deviate from what you originally started. But you can also deepen your interest in anything that you have joined. So maybe join a leadership opportunity, or go after a leadership opportunity. Maybe explore just a heightened, responsibility role in something that you're involved in. And that'll be really useful for showing initiative and showing that you are passionate about whatever you're involved in, kind of aside from academics. And I want to say that this should not just be for college applications. You definitely should do this to get the most out of your high school experience, your extracurricular experience. But definitely this is something that colleges look for. They look for you to be passionate about what you're doing. So it's definitely quality over quantity. You don't have to just join a bunch of things and say, I'm so involved, I'm hyper involved in everything. Colleges really want to see why you're passionate about something and what you put your effort into. So that could be just one thing. If you're really, really passionate about something outside of school, show that. And you can start to do that this second year, really show your dedication. But again, don't forget about that exploration part. You can definitely still explore, have fun with it, try new things. That's the biggest thing I would say in high school and college and beyond, is always trying new things. So beyond extracurriculars, another great idea of something to kind of start thinking about your sophomore year is what you're going to do during your summers, whether that's during high school or during college. Start thinking about, maybe for this upcoming summer, pursuing a job opportunity or an internship if you haven't done that before. It could also still be, a summer camp or different activities that are not necessarily jobs, but keep you busy over the summer. And so this can be a great way to, demonstrate having initiative and also curiosity and maturity as well. You're taking on more responsibility during the summer. I would say don't forget, to relax. The summer is for self-care, relaxation. You want to kind of reset your mental health because, school can be difficult. So don't let that fall to the side. Definitely keep that a priority. But you can still stay busy and kind of engaged with, the community around you by finding a job or finding an internship, whatever that may be. So that is something you can think about, kind of start to further your own professional development and look for opportunities where they arise. Beyond that, I would say, when you're preparing for the college application process sophomore year, I would say a lot of work is done by just keeping your ears open and absorbing all of the information that you can about colleges. And so by the time that it actually, by the time it comes around, by the time college applications come around, you have heard about these colleges for a couple years. You've heard what your friends have said about them. You've heard, different things that may have come out on the internet. Not that can always be trusted, but you've had time to kind of do your own research. So you can go on virtual visits of different campuses. You can talk to your friends. You can really just do, research into the student experience too. That can really help as well. And so, just by watching this video or just by reading our blog, you're already kind of taking that first step of seeing what students really feel about these places. And so that's kind of like passively leaving your ears open to hear whatever may come. So that way you kind of have a lot of context when it comes time to make those big decisions. And then additionally, I would say what's really important, and this is going to become more important as you go into your junior and senior year and you start choosing the college you want to go to. But what you can do this year is start to, on a high level, think about what you like about the academic and social environment that you're in right now. And that will help you inform what kind of environment you want to look for in college. Because I know that that's something that's super hard to think about when you don't really know what you're looking for. You don't know what a great college experience should be. And that's totally normal. I didn't really know what college entailed and what kind of experiences would go into it, even though I did have parents that went to college. And so that's something that is, very hard to know for a lot of people. And especially until you experience it yourself, you don't really know what goes into that decision, whether you're looking for a big school, small school, things like that. But you can start to think about it in comparison to your own experience right now. So if you do go to a really small high school, do you enjoy having those family-like relationships where you know everyone when they come into the classroom? You form really tight connections with everyone around you. Or do you want something that's huge, where you're constantly meeting new people that you don't know every day, and you can still develop really close relationships, but it might not be the same kind of familial connection between everyone in your community. So that can be something to think about and observe kind of your relationship to those around you during high school and what brings you joy ultimately. But even something as small as the weather, if you go to somewhere for high school that's really sunny all the time and it's bright outside, do you enjoy going out and enjoying the outdoors when it is really sunny and bright, or would you rather be walking through the snow or sitting by a window when it's really rainy? Does that bring you joy? So it's really the small moments that you can start to think about that make you happy, that you would like to put in your life based on the college that you choose. So that's a larger discussion, and myself and our other consultants at Study Hall College Consulting, we love talking about this with upcoming college students. So please reach out. We have a lot of great advice for kind of what factors to consider when you're looking at colleges, but those are some that you can start to think about. And then aside from that, I would preface this with saying it's totally optional. Preparing for standardized tests is something that you can totally do your junior and senior year, and that's largely when you're going to take those tests. But if you want to, the PSAT, the practice SAT, often becomes available to sophomores in high school, and you can start thinking about that process, start thinking about what the test entails and how you need to prepare for it. And so again, totally optional. If you haven't done this yet, don't feel like you're behind. It's pretty early to start thinking about it, but you can start to think about what that test is going to be like and how you might have to prepare for it. Again, this comes with a note as well that a lot of colleges may soon be moving away from standardized testing or adopting a different version of the SAT or ACT or the subject tests for the SAT. But this is something to think about still. So just if you are someone that takes a lot of time to kind of study for these kinds of things, you can, maybe sign up for a prep course, or if that's too much money, which for a lot of students, it's pretty expensive to do that. You can find really cheap resources online or reach out to us and we can help you with, a preparation plan for how to go about doing that. But again, don't worry too much about it. I would say during your sophomore year, it's really your discovery and exploration phase where you don't have to know exactly what you want to do or where you want to go, but you start thinking about your priorities and where you might want to go. Nothing's really set in stone, and that's kind of the exciting part about it. And I would say focus mostly in high school, especially sophomore year. Focus on your high school experience, have fun there, challenge yourself academically, socially. Definitely focus on that experience, but take it slow. Take those baby steps, and it'll make the latter part of this process, when you're actually applying to colleges and deciding, it'll make that feel a lot less daunting, a lot less of a huge decision that you might not feel informed about. If you start informing yourself earlier on, you're going to feel more prepared when it comes time to make those decisions. So I hope these were helpful, these little tidbits of advice. Please reach out to us. Myself and our consultants here are happy to talk about, what you should start thinking about, whether it's, what factors to consider or preparing for standardized testing, anything really, building your college list. We are here for you. So please reach out, and also check out my blog and Rachel's blog about how to prepare for college as a freshman, sophomore, junior, by going to our advice blog on our website. So that's shcollegeconsulting.com/r-advice-blog. And you can find all of them listed under there. So I hope this helped, and please reach out with questions. But good luck on kind of, ruminating and starting that brainstorming process for your college application process. Thanks for watching.